This day has been coming for a long time. As much as we want to put it off, diesels are slowly but surely coming to an end in consumer products. And the legendary Toyota 1VD FTV twin turbo V8 diesel is going to be canceled in the Land Cruiser 200 in memory of the 1VD. We're gonna go over the history, the specs, the reliability, the tunability, and at the end, we're gonna bust out the spreadsheet to see what can replace such a legendary diesel engine. This horrifying but expected news comes over from Car Advice Australian website. Toyota Land Cruiser 200 Series V8 diesel to end production in March 2021. Toyota dealers have been asked to stock up and place their final orders after being advised production of the Land Cruiser 200 Series will come to an end after 14 years, making it the longest running Land Cruiser wagon since the 1960s. However, it's going to go out with a bang. Toyota dealers have been advised there will be a limited edition Toyota Land Cruiser 200 Series available in the first half of next year. Excited to see what that is. We had the Heritage Edition last year, which is pretty cool, I guess. At least it came to the United States. But if you're new to the 1VD, it is exclusive for Australia, Middle East, South Africa, parts of the world that don't have that strict of emissions regulations. Now, when we're talking about the Land Cruiser 300, when that's coming out, that should be arriving before the end of 2021. So late 2021. But again, we don't know if we're going to, my gut is telling me anyways that we're likely not to get it here in the United States. But the Land Cruiser powertrain should live on in the LX 600 here in the United States. Hopefully comes by the end of next year, but I'm not feeling too confident on that. All right, down history lane here. 1VD FTV, first diesel V8 engine produced by Toyota. There's a 32 valve double overhead cam with common rail fuel injection with either one or two variable geometry turbochargers. We first saw it in 2007 equipped to the Land Cruiser 70 series, and that was available in Australia, Pakistan, India, Southern Africa, Central and South America. Now the twin turbo variant, which I mean, that's obviously the coolest one, right? Saw its first use in September 2007 with the Land Cruiser 200 wagon and is available in various worldwide markets. Now we'll talk about power when we get to the spreadsheet, but I want to hit on some things like reliability. We don't get it here in America, so its issues aren't as well known here. It is extremely reliable, like any Toyota engine, but it does have some issues. So let's bump on over to the forums at I Hate Mud. Locked79 says overall they're pretty reliable engines. You got to maintain them though. They have some injector problems in regards to dirty fuel. Starter motors are difficult to change if you're constantly in deep water. And oil consumption can happen to the tune of 1 liter per 5,000 kilometers if babied. And there are definitely examples in Australia with over 500,000 kilometers, which I'll put whatever that is in miles. Now, when it comes to tuning, over at Which Car, they have a bunch of different suggestions on what you could do to tune this amazing turbo diesel V8, from intake to injectors to turbo diesels to intercoolers to exhaust to chip tuning, etc. In best case scenario, you can also put some NOS on there, and that's going to get some ridiculous numbers, okay? We're talking 1,100 Newton meters of torque, which comes out to over 811 pound-feet of torque. And in terms of horsepower, over 462 kilowatts, which is roughly 620 horsepower when you're talking about fully maxing out this system to the max. You can actually get these crated into America, and there's a company here called Diesel Toys, which will install them in Land Cruisers. They'll install other diesels, like the 1KD, I think it is, into 4Runners, and you can also get this installed, of course, in Land Cruisers in the LX 570. So here's an example of the Tundra here. You can put it in. The 1VD, you can put it in with DPF or without DPF, but guys, it's going to cost you anywhere from $40,000 to $42,000. That includes components and installation costs. Installation cost is $17,500 if you want this legendary diesel in your Tundra. man, that is an expensive toy there, right? Because diesel toys, they know this is not practical for the average person. If we go on over to the Land Cruiser, they do put it in the Land Cruiser here as well as the Sequoia Tundra. We talked about that, and the LX 570. Here we go, same cost though, same exact cost. Now they don't just do diesel replacement engines, they do all these other things towards the vehicle as well, which are going to be an additional cost. Lastly, guys, it's spreadsheet time. It's that time of day where we head over to this. I don't always do a spreadsheet, but it's always fun. So on the far left here, I have the 1VD FTV rolling coal diesel V8, and it can be had in a manual transmission if you were wondering. And by the way, just because it's canceled in the Land Cruiser 200, which sucks, right? But it is more than likely still to live on in the Land Cruiser 70 series, like that Max 3 that I talked about yesterday. That thing's insane. But also other 70 series around the world. Moving forward, horsepower. If you get the single turbo, it's around 200 horsepower. If you twin turbo it, up to 268. Again, this is factory. Like I said, you can tune these things to incredible amounts of power. 317 single turbo to 479 with the twin turbo. I couldn't really find some numbers on towing. 3,500 kilograms, which is about 8,000 pounds, but it could probably tow more than that. Word on the street is that Toyota is working on a TNGA diesel, a new diesel to last them until the end of time probably. It's a 3.3 liter twin turbo. I'm assuming they're gonna have a single turbo and a twin turbo variant. So you can see 250 horsepower is what I'm expecting and 262 pound-feet of torque. And we're gonna get similar towing capacities. We're gonna get better emissions, better fuel economy in theory with this 3.3 liter turbo V6 or possibly twin turbo V6. Would we have liked an inline six? More than likely, that would have been ideal, but it looks like they're gonna do a V6 instead. Now these numbers are based off the 4-cylinder 2.8 liter diesel engine that we see in like the Land Cruiser Prado, for example. That engine's just been updated in the past couple of years to have even more horsepower, so I just extrapolated based off of displacement, but it could definitely produce more power than what I'm showing you. So it seems like worst case scenario, this TNGA diesel would produce roughly the same amount of the twin turbo 1VD engine, stock to stock anyways. Now, word on the street is they could also hybridize it, and guys, now we're talking about 320 horsepower and well over 500 pound-feet of torque. That would be incredible. Just think about the fuel economy you would get. It blows my mind. Now, the Land Cruiser will also get petrol, just like it does now. They're going to retire the 5.7 liter V8, more than likely for most markets, and they're going to replace it with the turbo V6, the 3.4 4-liter V35A FTS twin turbo V6 that we see in the LS500. Maybe tune the horsepower back a little bit, but give it a little bit more torque. I'm expecting around 400 horsepower, 450 pound-feet of torque. They can hybridize it probably in future LX 700H or 750H pluses, whatever they decide to name them. If they were to do it in a Raptor-esque like vehicle, it would be a hybrid twin turbo V6 and it would be similar in power, maybe even better than the Ford F-150 hybrid with that twin turbo V6. So I would expect 470 horsepower when you hybridize that turbo V6, or should I say twin turbo V6, and you get over 500 pound-feet of torque. And I really do think these numbers are pretty reasonable. I don't think they're overly blown out of proportion. I've really based them off of the hybrids that Toyota currently has and the engines Toyota currently has. And I'm just using simple math to extrapolate the numbers based off of displacement and current technologies that we have. So I don't think these numbers are out of the equation. Best case scenario for the Land Cruiser, the LX 570 going forward in terms of power would be a plug-in hybrid setup with 550 horsepower and over 600 pound-feet of torque. It's a possibility. It would also have around 40 miles of plug-in range. Don't know when we would likely to see that. I think how fast electrification takes over, how available batteries are. That seems to be the big issue right now with every single automaker, is battery supply is really in limitation because everyone's going electrified to some extent, whether it's fully battery electric. Fuel cells even have lithium-ion batteries, and then of course hybrids have lithium-ion batteries. So Toyota wants small batteries so they can mass produce them. So simple hybrid twin turbo V6 is going to be probably the range topper for a long time until they want to throw in a plug-in hybrid setup, maybe 5 years down the line after the vehicle's already introduced. So 2026, something like that would be my guess, maybe even later. But I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I think there is some good news behind this. It could still live on, like I said, in the 70 series, the 1VD can. And we are going to get some new and exciting powertrains in the next couple of years for the Land Cruiser, for the Tundra, for all the TNGA-F vehicles, including the LX600. Fingers crossed they're reliable. Fingers crossed they provide a fuel efficiency and power that we're all, wanting and hoping for. But guys, if you made it this far into the video, smash the like button. That helps my channel out so much. If you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe because we're just getting started. I hit 80,000 subscribers today. I'm so grateful for that. It feels like we're just on the cusp of 100. Even though this is sad news today, in the very near future, diesels, like dinosaurs, are no longer gonna walk the earth. But 1VD, rest in peace. We love you. Enjoy your last days of production until March 2021. And we look forward to see your successors. And guys, I'm just rambling. I need to cut the video off. It's probably 40 minutes long at this point. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves. Peace out. And peace out to the 1VD.